What's good? What's good? I'm about to pick up a stacked Walmart order. So 2 deliveries, 10 miles total for 25 bucks. I will do that all day. All day I will do that. Thank you people for tipping. Anyways, let's get to the subject of the video. Hey Idaho farmers, do not comply. It's that simple. I mean, it's not simple. I do understand that there will be ramifications. To the normies out there watching, go look at Waco and Ruby Ridge. If you don't know what those are, just start doing some research, just so you're fully, aware of how evil, and I do not mince words, how evil our government is. I saw a statistic the other day, and I bet it's true. It's actually that more children died at Waco than did at Sandy Hook. So the Sandy Hook school shooting? The government killed more children than the Sandy Hook shooter at Waco. So the government burned women and children alive. So evil is a good word. So as an Idaho farmer, if you're aware of, just how horrible our government can be, it can be scary to think about disobeying them. But I tell you what, that is what we need to do. You people, like I made this comment on a friend's Instagram post, tradies, farmers, and mothers are literally the most important people in a society. You are some of the most important people in our society. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I truly believe that. I have so much admiration and appreciation for our farmers. And I don't just mean like crops. I mean just farming in the broadest scope of the term. And so if you gentlemen and ladies, if you stand up to the government, that will inspire other people to support you. Because you are leaders of our society, you have an obligation to stand up and to resist and to not comply. And to normies watching, if you don't understand what's going on, I'll give a very brief overview. I'm just now kind of coming across this, but it's going to, I think it's going to spread. It's going to be a problem nationally. And it's funny because I talked about the kulaks the other day, the Russian kulaks. The productive farmers who were demonized by the collectivists and who eventually were either killed or forced out of their farms. And then all of a sudden, bam, there was a famine because the collectivists kicked out the actual farmers. Lo and behold. Anyways, okay. Idaho government is heavily restricting the use of private wells or agricultural wells that farmers have been relying on for years, that in many instances are on their property. So often these farmers have their own wells. They often dig it themselves. The government's saying, hey, you need to not access that water. You cannot access that water. And of course there's a bureaucratic justification, we need to centrally plan how the water is distributed and allocated. Tell me how this is capitalism. Tell me how what right now we're living in is capitalism. Because this is quite literally fascism. We are fighting fascism. And it's so frustrating because I am anti-fascist, but you Antifa people are so dumb. You are so dumb. You're pawns for the establishment, for the crony corporations and the corrupt politicians. We're literally telling farmers they cannot access water on their land. One of the most natural and abundant resources we have on this planet. There is not a water shortage. There is a allocation problem as a result of central planning, also known as the state, the government, the authoritarians. You as an Idaho farmer should be this worked up. If you're not this worked up, wake up and then get worked up. And then go get active. Like I said earlier in this video, you are a leader in your community. I know you are. I work with farmers. I understand the swagger and sway y'all have. You need to turn that into productive energy for your community and for activist efforts. The one thing the left does a lot better than you guys is activism. They get engaged, they get involved. It's time for you to stand up. And all you have to do is just not comply. Just use your friggin' water. I don't know if they have a smart meter set up, if they can manually shut stuff off. Hopefully you have an old one that's grandfathered in. There's no measuring and there's no government interference. But then also, if you're not an Idaho farmer, but you know an Idaho farmer, or you know a farmer that's dealing with this, go support them. If the authorities try to go on their property to shut them off, resist. Do not initiate the use of force. But imagine if a sheriff tries to drive onto the property with, let's say, 20 guys and some rifles and some sidearms. Do it. There's nothing illegal about that. There's more illegal with what that sheriff is trying to do. And we're not even talking about morality. I got to end this video here soon because I've got to do the pickup. But bootlickers, these sheriffs, these local enforcement officers, they're bootlickers. Do not give them the time of fucking day. They need ostracized. They need ridiculed. They need ignored. I don't want to say they need intimidated, but they need... I have this vision. Let me just talk about it real quick. Like if I were a man with some land and then I was having to deal with this bureaucratic mess, I would try to, at first, schedule a meeting with like the sheriff or whoever would be enforcing these laws. I would ask that it be recorded, and I would have just a man-to-man conversation with him and ask him who he supports, where his values are, what he considers to be virtue, etc. And then I would ask him if he feels what he is trying to do is right and just. I would ask him if there's another way. Because I'm going to resist. I'm going to defend myself. I am not going to initiate the use of force. But if force is initiated upon me, I will retaliate in kind. The sheriff probably has a family. He probably needs a source of income. Maybe the farmer, you could hire him. Maybe you could help him find new employment. That's the best way we can de-radicalize these bootlickers, in my opinion. The best way to de-radicalize the agents of the state is to find them an alternative and more ethical means to provide for their family. That, in a nutshell, is how to unplug from the matrix and how you can help people unplug from the matrix. And it's not just farmers, everyone. You need to begin to stop complying. That's an oxymoron, right? Begin to stop. You need to start non-compliance activities. Get active. Build your community. Support your local farmers. If I had a gun and I knew a local farmer that was struggling, I would go camp out on their property. Granted, I don't have a family and, so like I don't have a lot to lose and miss out on, but we need to help the farmers. So if you see this and you're available, maybe this is a call to action. Somehow, just do what you can. Share this video if that's all you can do. Thank you very much. I'm going to end it there. Much love. Thank you to our farmers, to our tradies, to our mothers. You literally are the most important people in our society.